Here we are driving on I-70, and we got a cool plan today. We're heading over to Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. I had a friend who did a video on it a year ago, and I was interested. So I said, I'm just going to take a weekend, drive out there, and do some roller coasters. I am looking for roller coaster credits. It's not a very big park. I think there's like 7 rides and a couple of caves to look at. This adventure park is up on the mountainside. You take a gondola up from it. Now we're going to stay at a hotel right at the gondola to go up to it. And we're going to do some rides they have in there. One thing, they have a swing that swings over a canyon and back down. Not very big. Kind of like the swing I did on Lagoon. And you're looking straight down on that canyon. And if I'm going to take this long a drive just to do one swing, it better be pretty cool. Now right now we're in the Canyonland area, and we see these beautiful hills on the side right here. It's on the left side, and I guess they're buttes. There is a large volcano you pass as we go towards Green River. You can see the largest volcano here in Utah. Very beautiful area. Just past the exit to get down to Moab and Arches National Park and Canyonlands National Park. The drive today to Glenwood Springs is 6.5 hours. There's a little rest area, and I did an Instagram. Our next stop up here is going to be in Grand Junction. We're going to Grand Junction to stop at Sam's Club to pick up a pretzel. If you haven't seen my pretzel video yet, please take a minute and watch that video. It's pretty cool. I tried all the pretzels there in Lagoon. Yeah, and you know what? If they've got some pretzels there at this adventure park, I'm doing it. I'm getting myself a pretzel. Grand Junction, 68 miles. That's a little bit less than an hour at 80 miles per hour. But there's other rides they have there. They have a roller coaster that's over at the canyon too. And they have 2 caverns you can just kind of walk through. You have to, I think, get reservations to do the caverns. I think that's why it's called Glenwood Cavern Adventure Park, because it's got some caves to go through. I really haven't been to this Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park. I've driven by it before, but I've really never looked up the hill and looked at it. We've driven by in the winter. It's a pretty rough drive through there. Well, it's kind of interesting. My daughter was getting married, but I was with my son. He was living in Colorado Springs because he needed some work done on his house a little bit. Needed to move some things that were heavy. I think we were welding at that time. Welding his fence back together. He had a metal fence that we welded. Not the greatest welder in the world, but certainly we got it done. I think that was what we're doing on that trip. What was that trip? Could have been the time I was fixing the pipes at his house. I think that probably was Thanksgiving he flew out. And the pipes broke and I had to go there and fix them up. Maybe that was it.
No, probably not.
And we needed to get back to this wedding in time. I had to leave right in the middle of this huge blizzard. It was hitting everything. The roads back to Salt Lake area, going the Cheyenne way and going through Wyoming, completely closed. The south roads going through Monarch, completely closed. Only thing that was somewhat open was this road going through Vail and Glenwood Springs, and it was not a fun drive. Matter of fact, we got behind an accident. We sat at Eisenhower Tunnel for over 3 hours, and nothing's worse than just sitting there with a dog that had to go pee, and I had to do the same. You find a snowbank at that time. That's for sure. But we finally made it across. We stopped over in Green River, spent the night, got up and drove the way back, and we got to the wedding on time. Nothing would be worse than trying to miss a wedding, especially if it's your daughter. So that was something I had to get there. Should be pretty fun. We're going to stay at a hotel just below it. I think it's called the Glenwood Springs Hotel. And it's right at the gondola that goes up to the park. It's not a very long gondola. It takes, I think, around 5 minutes, right, I understand. But that itself is a ride all on its own. You can buy a ticket just to do that. Yeah, it's pretty expensive, like for a 5-minute ride, but yeah. Now, why do I believe it's a one-day park? One thing, I've gone to a lot of amusement parks, but this particular amusement park is pretty small. There's 7 rides. Now, it might take me a little bit longer because I'm going to do some videoing for you guys and show you some of the rides. What I'm hoping for is that, I can wear a chest plate and have my GoPro on it. The roller coaster is like a less than a minute roller coaster, The walk around looks pretty fun. They got some things to see. We're going to have some food there. I know I'm going to try one of their hot dogs. They got some pretzel bites, I understand. I don't know if they have a pretzel, but they should. I think everybody has pretzels. So I should try that right there. Now, Glenwood Springs is famous for their hot springs, and they got 2 areas you can swim in the hot springs. I don't know if I'm going to do that because 107 degrees right now. When you go to Glenwood Springs, you go to the hot springs, but our summer has been really hot. Oh, I just died. There you go. So there's 2 locations you can do the hot springs. One is more like a pool. There's a little raft ride and stuff like that. The other one is they have like 27, I think, hot tubs you can go into. We probably won't go to it on this trip because right now, if I look at the temperature driving through here, it says it's 107 degrees. Yeah, this has been a hot summer. I just did a video at Lagoon and it was 105 degrees there. You should take a minute and watch that video too. It's pretty fun. I do a dark ride. It's called the Terror Ride, and that would be fun for you guys just to watch. Why? Because they're conditioned in the Terror Ride, though. The Terror Ride is about 1 minute and 20 seconds long. At least you get air conditioning in that time period. So what do you do in Glenwood Springs when it's too hot to do the hot springs? Well, one, we're going to the adventure park. It might be too hot for that, but we're going to have some fun. There's some indoor pools that we're going to go swim at the hotel we're staying at. That might be nice. Just basically a big pool area. I bet there are a million kids in there. I know there's a water slide there. I'm gonna try to jump on and film. Got a new GoPro 360, and yeah, we're gonna see if it works on a water slide. Unless the lifeguard yells at me, if you don't do the water slide with a camera. I know on ships they always yell at me, so I always have to wear a chest mount, and that's what we have to do. Hopefully they allow some chest mounts. That'd be fun. And you know me, I'm going to get stuck in the middle of a water slide anyway, so it doesn't matter much. My fat butt ain't going to go very far. I'm pretty excited to try the new camera. That's another reason why we're going on this trip. I could do this camera at Lagoon, and I probably will. Now, when I was a little bit younger guy, we used to do some spelunking. And we used to go to Fulford Cave and go do some spelunking down in that cave. There's another cave called Blue Butt Cave that I did. Matter of fact, I was one of the first explorers of that particular cave. And the water coming out of that cave is about 32 degrees, just right above freezing. Now, we could go do that. That would be a fun thing to go do. But I'm not going to drive out there. It'd be cool to show everybody Blue Butt Cave and show you why you get Blue Butt. So Blue Butt Cave, the water's coming out of the entrance, and you have to actually dive down into it and come back up the cavern they have there. And you have to walk across about waist-high water, go underneath again and get into the next cavern. And the next cavern is fairly large. No one's really mapped that one out. They may have by now, but when I was younger, no one had done it at that point. Why do they call me Fearless? Yeah, that's one of the reasons. I just going to Blue Butt Cave. Now, I do got that on film somewhere if I can find it. I had an old, huge camera taking some pictures of us at Blue Butt Cave, us going underneath the water and stuff like that. I don't know where it's at, but it'd be fun if I could find that video. Yeah, we have to dive underneath. No one ever goes in that. The water is really cold. Newlywed, almost dead. Yeah, well, because I do stupid things. Talk about stupid things to do. This summer, I was going to go to a rope swing over a river, and I fell off this train trestle. They might see me having a little bit of brace on my leg because I re-injured my ankle a little bit. That's kind of stupid of me. Now, Terry doesn't say it was very far. To me, it was about 15 feet. Enough that I cratered out on the bottom of the river and hit my leg pretty hard. But, hey, that's how it is, you know. Yeah, it looked like something I wanted to go do. I'm finding I'm getting a bit old to do things like that. Well, there was a rope swing on a train trestle. So you're walking past where trains go across. It was rickety old wood. It was an old train trestle. It was kind of rickety in a sense. And walking across, I just slipped off and went. It wasn't scared at all. I almost hit a river raft, though. That was kind of fun. I was, like inches from a river raft and just went right by it. You know, I was jumping off this bridge just for the hell of it. And that is the only reason. Why not? We were river rafting, and that was just something dumb. We didn't do any filming on that. Just did it for fun. And that was just, sometimes I do things that are stupid. That was something stupid. But I had fun doing it. I didn't have fun falling off, so don't get me wrong. I didn't have fun hitting the ground pretty hard, but I did have fun doing it. My leg has been kind of messed up. and went on a long hike after that. Ended up being like a 5-mile hike, not that long a hike, to a place called Hidden Meadows, but it wasn't even in a meadow. It was up in the mountains. It wasn't a meadow at all. That was a pretty fun trip. Cooked some steak over campfire using weenie roaster. Had s'mores, just like you should do, saying kumbaya. Let me tell you the truth, we didn't sing kumbaya. We didn't do that at all. Matter of fact, we were so lost, we didn't get to the campsite until about 9 o'clock at night. It was good enough that we ate. And it got pretty cold that night. And then there was a sheep herd around us, like thousands of sheep, just screaming all night long. So I get to sleep with that. That was kind of an interesting trip. Glenwood Springs, yeah, it's a tourist town, 100%. Everything's pretty expensive. The hotels were not cheap. We're just going to go downtown tonight and see what's there. We have no idea what's there. So we can go down. It's supposed to be historic in a way. It's supposed to have little shops and stuff. Again, it is a tourist town, so we're going to take a look and see what we can find. We might not find anything. We might find some dinner, though. I think that's the most important thing. We can find some really odd type of restaurant to jump into, or some hamburger place, mom and pop hamburger place. That would be fun. So something like that tonight. I think that would be a nice little fun activity when we get there. Should get there around 6-ish, I'm thinking. So yeah, it should be fun, maybe 7. Just expect if you're going here that, it's like going to be like Vail, Colorado. It's going to be that type of town. It's a tourist trap because of the hot tubs they have there, the hot springs. We got hot springs up where we live in about 45-50 minute drive. And I have a video on that. You should take a look at it. It's pretty fun. A lot of hot springs. It's going to be like that. You're going to have these tubs you can get into, soak in, get the minerals into your body, and be hot. But is today a hot day for hot tubs? Oh, it hasn't gone up though, still 107 degrees. Terry is not with me on this trip. She's sending my daughter off back to Chicago. So she's staying home. It's been fun having my daughter with me, enjoying her 20th year high school reunion. I never went to one of my reunions, thank goodness, but certainly she enjoyed doing that. And for me, yeah, I don't need to do something like that. Matter of fact, I don't even know when they were. I don't even know how many years I've been graduate from high school. I barely can remember my age, unless when did I graduate. Holy smoke, time's flying when you're having fun. Now, am I having fun driving on this? Yeah, driving on these trips is always fun. Nothing's better than getting a car, going fast, and getting somewhere. You can see things like over here, you won't see it, but there's a crow sitting here on a telephone pole, squawking away. We may call it a raven. I think a raven is more fun to say than crow, but certainly it's sitting there staring at us, at least at the road, wondering if I'm going to hit something or not. You know what's really cool? Let me tell you, just at our cabin yesterday, there's just swarms and swarms of hummingbirds. Certainly had that, but we had a family of grouse walk by. Now, a grouse might be the stupidest bird. I think it was the stupidest bird to the dodo. You can almost walk up to them and grab them. They're as dumb as a chicken. But there's a family of them, and a male grouse. See if I can get a picture of one for you. I didn't take pictures, but my wife did, my daughter did. And there's a family of a mother grouse with a bunch of chicks, and the male grouse was up on another layer of our property, and they had this little feathery tail that kind of looks like a turkey tail, but really short. So yeah, it's cool seeing the grouse family come around. Those are the noisiest birds ever if you ever dealt with grouse. Not that I hunt them anymore, nor should I hunt them, but we used to hunt them with sticks and we'd eat them on campouts. But yeah, that's a long time ago. So this is kind of exciting, and I don't know if this is part of the ticket or not, but they have an alpine coaster there. They can jump in and go down. I think the last one we did was Labadee on a cruise ship. For Royal Caribbean's Labadee, it's pretty fun. I don't know, we may have done the alpine coaster at Anakeesta. Anakeesta's in Tennessee, and we may have done that particular one. I have to go back and look. We've done so many things, but that would be kind of a fun. I can't wait for that one. If we can go on that, matter of fact, I might even pay if it's not part of the ticket, I'll pay to go on that one. So that should be fun, just going on an alpine coaster and just going down. Another ride on there is the Defiance roller coaster. Not so sure about that roller coaster. I understand all their roller coasters go over the canyon, so that would be a fun one. I understand it's really short. I'm talking about a minute long. So that one might be ended up being a short. I'll just do a short on it. But it twists around and goes around pretty. Do our roller coasters twist around? They probably do. That'd be fun to do if they allow me to do that. So I have these high expectations of things I can do, but a lot of times in the amusement park they say I can't do it. So yeah, we'll give it a shot. Here we go. We're going to enter into Colorado right now. We're going to give a honk when I get right into Colorado. And I'm speeding now to 75. I have to slow it down. Shh. This is a place that cops should get, and they'll get everybody. Part of my life is growing up here in Castle Rock, Colorado, 4th through I think 8th grade. I lived in Colorado. I did so much stuff in Colorado as a youth. Once I turned into a young teenager, I became an explorer, and I wanted to hike all the 14,000 feet mountains I have here, and I did quite a few of them. That was kind of my goal until we moved out my 9th grade year. It was kind of sad. So I used to go into the mountains by myself. So my dad would drop me off, for example, Waterton Canyon, I guess it was called, I can't remember. Would drop me off in the mountains. I would just go hike in the mountains, go fish, eat for a week, be off by myself. It was just a different type of era back then. I used to love hiking. I don't hike like I did in my youth. Hundreds and hundreds of miles I would hike. But certainly I'd go out for a week at a time and just enjoy. A couple times, sometimes 2 weeks at a time. Depends how much food I'd have. One of my favorite things to eat when I was there, I would bring some beans, heat the beans over the fire till they became soft overnight in the coals. And then I would cut up some salted pork, stick the salted pork in, and that would be my meal for the whole day. Especially if I didn't catch any fish. Didn't catch any fish that day. Yeah, it was a sad day. Beans and salted pork, yeah. Sometimes Spam. Salted pork is the pork belly. Instead of being bacon, they soak it in salt, I guess, and they salt it, and it just preserves in salt. Very salty. I wonder why they call it salted pork. It tastes very salty. We are entering a pretty part of the drive now. We're starting to get into some cliffs, so we'll see a cliff pass off of here. So yeah, it's getting a little more prettier area. Colorado can be extremely beautiful. One of the prettiest Amtrak train rides you can go is through this canyon. If you want to ride a train, one of the prettiest ones is between Salt Lake and Denver. You go through this canyon. We're going to be going through in a few minutes. You get to see some very beautiful scenic area, but one thing you have to do is live through Amtrak. We could have left on Amtrak today. We could have taken the Amtrak. We looked it up. It left at 3 o'clock this morning, so most of this we probably would have missed. We've already been there by now. Probably would have taken the Amtrak. Yeah. It's not the cheapest route to go. Driving might be a little cheaper when you have several people. But yeah, one of these days I'll do the Amtrak and video it, and I can complain about it like everybody else does when they take Amtrak. They have to do something about it, because it could be a wonderful way to transport people from one place to the next. But Amtrak is having problems, that's for sure. I have never taken Amtrak. I sent my wife and my 2 daughters on it once from Denver to Boise. My wife didn't mind it. My daughters were too young to care. My son took Amtrak from Reno to Salt Lake, and he said he'd never ride Amtrak again. So yeah. Matter of fact, I tried talking him to going with me on Amtrak on a trip to Chicago instead of doing this trip. Well, he did say he'd go to Chicago, but I would take Amtrak and he would fly first class. So here's a question. Would you want to see a video of basically a race to Chicago, Amtrak to Chicago versus flying first class to Chicago? Tell me in the comments below, would that be a fun video to go see? My son fighting Amtrak all the way to Chicago and me flying first class to Chicago. I grew up in Colorado, a lot of my years in Colorado. Now I did move after I got my degree in college. I moved to back to Castle Rock, Colorado with my wife, and we lived there for several years, me being an aeronautic engineer. It was fun. Oh, here's a train right here coming through. That's not Amtrak though, but I bet you it's as comfortable as Amtrak. It's a coal train. So that's probably coming from Price. That's empty though, isn't it? That's empty coal train. We'll find Sam's Club. Pretzel time. I'm ready for a pretzel. Not a super pretzel. I don't think they have super pretzels. Are they got super pretzels at Sam's Club? And we don't want a super pretzel. I don't know if you saw my video about pretzel, but let me tell you, eating a super pretzel at Lagoon was not, it's like in the little heater for all day long. It was crunchy. It wasn't good. You need to do them fresh for you. But the other two pretzels I had were really good. I really enjoyed them. I haven't been talking for 68 miles, have I? Maybe that's why I'm running out of my voice. We're coming into Grand Junction. We've already made it here. Now, I got a little ways to go. I can't believe that 68 miles was so quick talking to you guys. It's just boom, it's over with.